Hey everyone, John Henry here. Welcome back. We're coming into the lunchtime session here at 12:30. And normally this isn't a time that I'm really that big a fan of trading, but this time around we just had the S&P drop 50 points off the highs, and the volatility's on max right now. We had the buyers get a very nice, not very big, but a nice gap to the upside and some very good strength. Buyers likely bought into the pullback, but that pullback lasted a while, right? When you have a pullback that's lasting this long, when buyers are expecting it to last this long, when it comes back to the highs, chances are they're going to start taking profit. It looked like they were going to give it a shot to break out, but when it failed into a lower high and rolled back over, kind of had our answer in terms of what to expect. So right now I'm keeping an eye on the S&P as it's trying to bounce back, because all that's really happened so far is the market's rotated off of the highs and kind of swung all the way down and filled in that gap. Once that gap was filled, we found a boatload of support, but we still have to understand that there is a lot of bear pressure to the downside, and it's very likely going to bounce and at least try to get back down to those low closes. And that's where I'm going to be kind of paying attention to possible shorting opportunities to drive the market down. We might be able to pick up some nice little scalps here, depending on how this wants to fire off. So we got another minute, 30 seconds. And then we'll see how this candle wants to end, and that will give us some ideas in terms of how we want to approach things. Right now, looking for another leg to the downside. And if we look back to the smallest leg that we've had was this guy right here. So if we do start breaking down, I would like to see it go maybe around that distance, and that's 31.30 half. Low closes are right there. You can kind of see everything's pointing to right around that area. So that's kind of the zone that I'm keeping an eye on. So we got a minute left on this candle. We'll see what it wants to do, and then we'll come back and see if it wants to play ball. All right, we're back. We got 5 seconds left, 4 seconds left until this candle closes. I am going to be paying attention very closely to what's going on this current candle. Very much interested in this move. So let's see here. We got a low at 45 quarter. I don't mind selling at 45, but I also want to pay attention to the fact that if this does want to bounce up a little bit, 46 quarter, I don't mind selling a little bit of a ways back either. If I can get 47 quarter, then I'm selling at a slightly better price, which should make my life just a little bit easier in terms of getting things to work. If they want to fill 45, though, looking for a quick scalp to 44. Otherwise, though, if we can get this to backfill just a little bit, I wouldn't mind seeing if we can hold on to maybe an extra contract and see if we can trail it down to that 35.75. So I'm in short at 45. Let's see here. I'm going to move this down to 46 and see if it'll give me a point back. Testing the target. Yeah, target immediately filled. So very quick scalp to the downside. Kind of curious to see if they want to give a little bit of a pushback, try to get refilled at 46, and then see if we can push the market back down again. But it might not give that opportunity to. Either way, very nice quick little scalp there. See if they can back up. 46. Oh, it almost made it up to 46. I'm trying to give it some time, but if it doesn't want to start getting it and pushing back down, we might just have to call it with a nice little scalp. Still have 3.5 minutes left on the candle here. Keep in mind, volatility is very high, so if we can get this to backfill 46, wouldn't mind seeing if we can get this to push back down to, I mean, at least 41 half, maybe a little bit further down to that 35 half. I think they tested the entry. Didn't get filled, though. Oh, it's right there. There we go. So we're filled on the short for the S&P. See if we can get this back down again. 46 is what I'm short from. Volatility is fairly high, so I'll look for another one at 47. That doesn't hurt my feelings, and we might be able to grab another scalp out of it. So I'm short on the S&P. Looking for a move back down to 41 half. Oh, there we go. Now we got taken in for 2. So 46, 45, let's go back down and see if we can grab 45 for another scalp. And then we can look to see if we can get something a little bit bigger, down to maybe 42 and a half. There we go. All right, getting close to that first target again. Now the reason I'm going for 45 is because my entry when I re-entered it in again was 46. So I'm going to look to scalp out one of them and then see if we can get this to flush back down to the next one. We're testing the target. Didn't fill it, though. Need it to push back down again. See if we can give it more time here and see if it wants to play ball. Final objective back down there at 42.5, though. Again, we might be able to trail it out for a little bit more. The one concern that I have is the amount of bullish pressure to the upside. There's a target filled. So I do want to kind of pay attention to if the sellers just aren't getting the job done, it might be better off just looking for the shallower target. So still short. Now my average price is at 47. Really great place to be. So what we can do is, if we can get this candle to close underneath my entry point, then I'd like to put a stop at break even, and then see if we can trail down the rest of the way. That would be a major, major objective to the downside. For now, if they just want to push down and grab the target at 42.5, that's fine. But if we do hang out here for a little while, then that's where the stop will go in at break even. We'll see if we can get that bigger target down to 36.5 or so. So give this a couple seconds here and see what it wants to do. We're coming down into that target. Still having a little bit of a hard time there. Now, I do really want to see it close below the low of 38. There are going to be a lot of sellers who sold underneath bar 38, and their entry points are going to be at 45, which is where we entered in initially. And any sellers who are left at 45, they don't really want to find out that they ended up after 5 minutes waiting for the candle to close that they're in the negative territory, they're at break even. That would be what you could consider kind of disappointing for the sellers. So if the sellers are disappointed, likely they're going to start exiting. So I would like to see them close below 38. I got 45 seconds left. We'll give it a little more time here. So we've gotten 2 scalps out of it so far, just trying to see if we can run this last one down and grab a halfway decent target here. Coming back down to the candle lows. Last 15 seconds, 1 tick away, target filled. Beautiful move. Awesome. So just a phenomenal example of waiting for those scalping opportunities to show up and jumping all over them. Right? We have a really strong move to the downside with a counter bounce back up to the moving average. The moving average is not a part of that of the equation, to be fair, but it is nice to see it bouncing off of the moving average. I like the fact that it came back. We have that earlier buyer's break even, right? And this is the big area of why I'm so interested in this zone, because we came up. The buyers who bought bar 1, the very first candle of the day, got a rip right out of the gates. They defended when it came back. So they held their break-even point when the market came back, and they were able to reload. And obviously they did, because, well, otherwise that giant up move wouldn't have happened. But when it slid all the way down, that's a 50-point move. Look at the pricing, right? 31.75 down to 31.35. 50 points. So anybody who was long in this or off bar 1 was likely kind of surprised by this. Like, wait a minute, what the heck just happened? They've been given chances to get profit up here, up there, up there. This was probably just their final contracts. But the fact that it slid through, hit the low of day and filled the gap, held support there, came back and allowed those buyers to get out at break even, and then reversed back down again, that showed that the rest of the buyers that were propping the market up, they were surprised by that move down, and they got out of the way. And that allowed a bunch of nice scalps to the downside. So very good moves, some very nice scalps to the downside. Caught, I think, 2 scalps out of that. And then a little bit of a runner back down to the bottom base of that bar 37. So phenomenal trading. That's going to do it, though. I'm going to wrap it up. Normally I don't trade into lunch, but it was a little hard to skip that opportunity. So if you have any questions about it, shoot me an email. I'll get those covered for you from there. Otherwise, though, I hope you had a great day of trading, and we will see you in the next one. Thanks.